If your nights were recorded on camera, half of you would slam your laptop shut from sheer embarrassment. You tell yourself every morning that you want to change your life, but every night you do the exact things that keep you stuck. You are caught in a boring, repetitive loop that is draining your potential and aging you faster than time itself. The year 2026 is approaching with terrifying speed, and the person you are today is not equipped to handle it. If you do not change your trajectory tonight, you will arrive at that future as a spectator rather than a leader. It is time to stop the bleeding and reclaim your mind before the digital world finishes breaking your spirit. Quality of life is not a result of luck or cosmic alignment. It is a direct reflection of what you do when the noise stops. Most people spend their nights in a state of mental decay, drowning in junk content and avoiding the mirror. But for the few who are willing to be brutal with themselves, the night is where the true competitive advantage is built. We are going to break that cycle right now with 5 brutal night routines designed to rewire your brain for dominance. This is not about comfort, and it is absolutely not about the soft version of self-care you see on social media. This is about survival, focus, and reclaiming the throne of your own life in an increasingly chaotic world. Let us begin the transformation by looking at the first pillar of a warrior's night. The first ritual is the cut the noise protocol, and it is non-negotiable for anyone over the age of 35. Your brain is a high-performance biological processor, yet you treat it like a garbage bin for random, useless information. Most of you do not actually have a night routine. You have a night disaster that fuels your daily anxiety. One minute you think you are winding down, and the next you are doom scrolling through a sea of negativity and envy. You're consuming enough random data to fry the circuitry of a supercomputer and then wondering why you feel foggy. Your brain is not a hard drive that you can fill with nonsense at midnight and still expect peak performance at 8 in the morning. The fix is brutal, simple, and requires more discipline than most people currently possess in their entire bodies. Exactly 60 minutes before your head hits the pillow, you must cut every single external input without exception. No music, no news, no podcasts, no videos, and absolutely no social media scrolling of any kind. Your mind needs to detoxify from the day, and it cannot do that if you are constantly feeding it new stimuli. If you do not give your brain true silence, it is like trying to find deep sleep in the middle of a loud construction site. You want to rewire your mind, but you are paralyzed by what your mind will say when it finally has a chance to speak. The silence will feel uncomfortable, heavy, and perhaps even painful during the first few nights of this practice. That discomfort is the exact signal that your brain is finally beginning to process the heavy backlog of your life. Your mind will scream for stimulation like a toddler demanding sugar, but you must remain the authority figure. In that silence, your focus begins to return, and your nervous system finally begins to regulate itself for the first time in years. This hour of absolute quiet is the sacred foundation upon which your future success and mental health are built. Stop being afraid of your own thoughts and start listening to the directions they are trying to give you. Now we move to the second ritual, which is the ruthless reality audit. This is where the separation between the top 1% and the rest of the world truly begins to take shape. Most people fail in life because they are too soft to look at their own reflections with complete and total honesty. They let every day blur into the next until a decade has passed, and they are still making the same tired excuses. Every night, before you close your eyes, you must review your actions with the cold objectivity of a high-stakes coach. Do not listen to the delusional influencers who tell you to celebrate yourself just for showing up or drinking water. I am talking about savage honesty combined with a friendly but firm intention to never be mediocre ever again. Ask yourself 3 specific questions every single night without fail, as if your life depended on the answers. What did I promise I would do today that I lacked the courage, the focus, or the discipline to execute? Where did I allow my precious time and energy to be stolen by people or distractions that add zero value to my future? If today was repeated for 365 days, would I be proud of the person I would eventually become? That sharp sting you feel in your chest when the answer is negative is the only fuel that will cause real growth. Regret is a powerful teacher, but only if you have the guts to attend the class every single night of your life. Write down 3 specific, actionable things you will do better the moment you wake up tomorrow morning. They do not need to be grand or cinematic. They just need to be smart, realistic improvements to your daily character. When your brain knows that it will be audited every night, it keeps you sharp and accountable during the waking hours. You stop wasting hours on trivial nonsense because you know you have to answer for them when the sun goes down. Break the loop of stagnation tonight by being the harshest critic and the most loyal supporter of your own evolution. Accountability is the bridge between the person you are and the person you have the potential to become by 2026. The third ritual is the 2026 identity anchor, and it is the absolute key to long-term behavioral change. Most people try to change their habits while still clinging to an old, broken version of their own identity. They think their future self is going to magically wake up one day with iron discipline and perfect clarity of vision. But you do not become a leader in 2026 by waiting for the calendar to turn. You become them right now. Every night as you lie in the dark, you must vividly visualize the person you intend to be in exactly 2 years. Think about their posture, their financial status, their physical health, and the way they command respect in a room. Ask yourself, did my actions today serve that powerful version of me, or did they betray them for cheap pleasure? If you spent your day in distraction and fear, you're currently voting for a future of failure and total irrelevance. You shift your identity through the weight of repeated evidence, not through temporary bursts of emotional motivation. Before you end your night, perform one small physical action that your future self would be genuinely proud of. It could be organizing your desk, reading 10 pages of a complex book, or simply drinking water instead of something toxic. These small wins act as psychological anchors, pulling your current reality toward the vision you have created in your mind. Every night you choose your identity through your actions, and every night you are either building a monument or digging a grave. Consistency is the only thing that will convince your subconscious mind that the new version of you is real. The fourth ritual is the digital containment strategy, and it is a desperate battle for your cognitive freedom. Your smartphone is no longer just a tool. It is a sophisticated weapon designed to keep you mentally weak and compliant. It is engineered by the smartest minds in the world to hijack your dopamine system and keep you in a state of constant comparison. I am not telling you to throw your technology away, but you must stop letting it dictate your worth and your focus. You need a digital shutdown protocol that is enforced with military precision every single evening of the week. Close every open tab on your computer to signal to your brain that the work cycle is officially closed for the day. Turn off every single notification that is not a life or death emergency for your family or your business. Put your phone in another room entirely, far away from your reach and far away from your sight. Set it to do not disturb and leave it there like it is a toxic substance. Because for your focus, it absolutely is. The most dangerous thing you can do for your subconscious mind is to make your screen the last thing you see at night. If you do, you're injecting your brain with chaos, envy, and useless data right before it tries to repair itself during sleep. Every night, delete one digital distraction from your life that no longer serves your ultimate mission. Unfollow one negative account, delete one mindless app, or turn off one more notification category that steals your focus. This slow, deliberate digital cleansing will return your attention span to its natural and powerful state over time. Your brain cannot rewire itself for success if it is constantly drowning in a sea of shallow, algorithm-driven content. Put the device away like it is radioactive, because your mental clarity and your future depend on that distance. The fifth and most savage ritual is the resilience trigger, which is the practice of voluntary hardship. Comfort is the silent, seductive killer of all great ambitions and the primary enemy of the life you say you want. If your nights are always soft, easy, and comfortable, your future will eventually become very difficult and very painful. But if you choose to face discomfort at night, the world will have no choice but to bend to your powerful will. Every night before you finish your routine, you must perform one task that you absolutely do not want to do in that moment. It could be a 3-minute cold shower that shocks your system and proves you are the absolute master of your physical body. It could be 10 minutes of intense stretching that humbles your ego and tests your physical and mental limits. It could be writing down your deepest, most terrifying fears to prove to yourself that you can look them in the eye. The specific task matters far less than the psychological message you are sending to your deep subconscious mind. By choosing discomfort, you are telling your mind that you are no longer a slave to your impulses or your feelings. You are training yourself to do what is necessary for your growth, regardless of how you feel in the fleeting moment. This builds a level of mental grit that no podcast, book, or seminar can ever provide for your character. You become bulletproof in the quiet hours of the night when no one is watching and no one is clapping for you. Every time you step into that discomfort, you are hardening your mind for the inevitable challenges of 2026. Now, let us tie all of these 5 brutal threads together for your final and most important mental reset. Most people believe that changing their entire life requires a massive, overnight miracle from the heavens. In reality, it only takes one night of disciplined execution, repeated until it becomes your new skin and your new nature. When you cut the noise, you finally allow your brain the deep, restorative rest it has been craving for many years. When you perform the reality audit, your awareness becomes a blade that cuts through your own weak excuses. When you anchor your identity, your future becomes a calculated choice, rather than a desperate and empty hope. When you enforce digital containment, you reclaim the focus required to build an empire or a legacy for your family. And when you trigger resilience through discomfort, your character becomes unshakable, elite, and truly formidable. These are not trendy hacks for social media likes. These are the ancient habits of survivors and of winners. You do not need a new year, a new month, or a sign from heaven to start this process tonight. You just need a new night, a new standard, and the courage to finally stop lying to yourself about your effort. Your potential is standing right in front of you, waiting for you to stop playing small and start taking total charge. The excuses you have been making for your lack of progress are honestly becoming exhausting for everyone around you to hear. It is time to grow up, lean into the struggle, and build the version of yourself that 2026 demands of you. The peace and the power that come from this level of self-mastery are more addictive than any drug on this planet. Do not wait until you feel motivated, because motivation is a liar that leaves you the moment things get difficult. Start tonight, be absolutely brutal with your standards, and watch how the world begins to rearrange itself for your benefit. Your future self is watching you through the lens of time, hoping you finally have the spine to choose them over your comfort. Make the choice right now while you are listening to these words. Execute the routine tonight without an ounce of mercy for your old self. Take back your life from the vultures of distraction and the thieves of your precious time. I will see you tomorrow morning as a completely different man with a completely different future. It is time to wake up by finally learning how to go to sleep with purpose. This is your mission. This is your life. Do not waste another second. The clock is ticking toward 2026. Make every single night count from this moment forward. Your legacy starts in the silence of tonight.